touch a trout, try to remember you want to wet your hands. Cool. Yeah, I'll lift her. These two big guys here.
Oh, huge perch, man. Oh.
Hopefully it didn't swallow it.
Oh, nice one. There you go.
That's a good one there. Yeah. Man. Oh. Hello everybody, back at it again, out trying some topwater fishing. Last night I was pretty slow. I didn't have all that many hits, so I'm just gonna kind of crunch some together. I'm definitely gonna try and get a lot more topwater action in this summer for you guys, because I know it's a lot. I mean, it's exciting for me, but it's also, I know I can sit there and watch topwater smashes on my TV all day long. It's exciting even to watch. So I hope you guys enjoy this episode. I will say this, I'm probably going to stop on my way home and try to find a heavy action rod. I am noticing, I said earlier, a lot of the guys that do this, they use 50-pound test. 50-pound braid is what they prefer anymore, because they can really rip them out of the pads with that. Because you got to figure, I'm fishing as thick a structure as you can imagine, and when you hook into these fish, if you don't really rip them out of these pads, you ain't gonna get them. All it takes is them getting twisted in it. They'll pull off, they'll spit the hook, jerk the hook out, whatever they got to do. So it also helps to have a heavy action rod. I'm throwing a medium right now, which I love my mediums, don't get me wrong. I could use a medium all the time for all species of fish. However, fishing in this thick cover, you really want to be able to get a real heavy hook set into these fish. I mean, when they grab it, because it's a weedless lure, so those hooks are barely sticking out as it is. So when you set the hook, you really want to give a good jerk on it. That's why you see a lot of those guys do that. You don't have to do that all the time. I see too many people nowadays that seem to think just because the bass pros do it that you got to set the hook hard every time, but it's mostly a topwater thing, because these hooks are just barely poking out. You really got to make sure you rip through, get a good hook set that way. Plus, with the heavy action rod, they're not able to pull on that rod tip and help themselves get off the pads even more. So basically, it's about keeping it as stiff as you can to keep those fish from being able to, you don't want to give them any more movement than you can, because they will find a way to get off. So I'm gonna get a heavy action rod. We'll see if that changes things up. But I hope you guys enjoy this. If you haven't already, hit that thumbs up, hit that subscribe button. Let me know what you think. I'm in some really thick muck, but I'm gonna try the frog. I hope you got that on camera. My frog freaked out another frog. That was epic. Ooh. Got it. Oh, if I didn't lose it. Oh, I hope I didn't lose it. I did lose it. God dang it. That was a good hit. I don't know if it was a bass or a pike. Oh, he dropped it. He might come back. I didn't even have a hook in them. I think that was a pike. Oh my gosh, look at all these bass. They're little, but it's a whole school. That's a good sign. Well, I know what that was, because he busted braid before I could even set the hook. I'm sure you'll see it really good on the camera. Had to have been a pike. But why you should use some sort of leader. I don't want to use a leader on topwater though. But there goes my frog. All right, back to the live target field mouse. Hopefully I don't lose this because this is not cheap. Can't believe that pike just bit that frog right off like that. I ain't gonna lie, okay? I've been watching a lot of videos on this, trying to figure out the better ways to do it, and I did notice a lot of people recommend 50-pound braid, which seems like a lot, but when you go to brands like Power Pro, which is what I use, 50-pound braid will have the same thickness as something thinner, like probably 20-pound or 15 or something. So it's really not that bad. But I did just order 50. That's what I'm going to swap up to when I get that, because I don't want to be buying these $15 top waters. I just spooked something big right there. I don't want to buy these $15 top water baits and just have a pike to bite them off like that. God, that was instant. I threw on top of that fish. I don't even know what it is. Guessing a bass. Yep. Wow. Oh my God. Oh my God. Wait till you see this. Oh my God. I'm putting that fish in the water for a minute. I gotta weigh that. Oh, 4 pounds, 2 ounces, folks. 4 pounds, 2 ounces. What a monster. And that's on that dang live target frog. Oh, what a beautiful fish. He had to give me another jump. That was, I hope I got it on this camera. That was as fast as that hit the water. I must have landed on that fish. He was just sitting there waiting for a mouse. Unfreaking believable. That's my heaviest bass this season so far, folks. I think I said 4.2. God, what an awesome fish. Oh man. Ah. Get out of them lily pads. Smaller bass, I think. Yep. Gotta really yank them out of them pads. That's why they say 50-pound works the best. Mostly because you can really use brute force against the pads trying to pull the fish out of them. But I'm back at it again, bass fishing, doing some more topwater stuff, trying to get a whole video. I'm putting all these video clips together here. Also, I want to say I'm in another fishing tournament now. I'm still in that Master Angler one, but now I'm also in a bass tournament that goes on for a little while here. So I am going to be targeting bass for a bit because I want to try and win this tournament, and I need to try and get the biggest lengthwise bass that I can for this tournament, as well as the top 3 lengthwise bass per week. So I'm after some big bass today, folks. I'm going to throw a frog in the lily pads today to get some topwater explosions, as well as the 2.0. Now the 2.0 I'm going to be using every time I find a nice hole in the weeds, a gap in the lily pads, the 2.0 LT Outdoors 2.0 that you can get at ltoutdoorslurco.com is absolutely perfect for fishing weed edges and that. So that's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna cast and slow retrieve this along the pads. We should get into some really big bass, so stay tuned, guys. Hope you enjoy this. I'm excited to make it, so let's see what happens. Now, I'm not gonna, like I said, for this tournament that I'm in, I need to enter my top 3 biggest bass each week lengthwise, so I'm not really gonna even bother putting any on the measure board unless I know they're, you know, 18 or bigger. So until I hook into a big bass, I'm not gonna, there's one, I'm not gonna really measure them up. Like I said, I'm throwing the 2.0 right now into these gaps through the weeds. Yeah, like this bass here, although there's nothing wrong with any bass, this one's not a measure worthy fish. Probably only a 12, maybe 14. All right, I just had a bass here behind me busting in the lily pads, so I'm gonna swap back over real quick to the frog, and I'm gonna try him in the pads for a bit. I do want to show you guys though, I've got this new Daiwa rod. This is the RG Daiwa. This is the 7-foot medium power extra fast action. Now, I wanted to get something with heavy action. It didn't really have any though, but this one here is heavier than my Berkeley Cherrywood, so I wanted something heavy to get a better hook set on these fish in the pads using frogs, because I'm learning fast that that's really the way to go. You need to, not only are you, another one in the pads, not only are you ripping through the pads when you set the hook because the fish pulls it down underwater, so you're pulling against the pads, but also to get into the mouth of the fish, you really got to get a good hook set. So yeah, let's throw in the pads with this baby. I've got my, this is my 13 Fishing Creed Chrome fishing reel with some Power Pro, I believe it's 20-pound test braid. But yeah, let's fish in these pads a bit, see if we can get some explosions at least. I can hear gills just popping all around me. Taking, oh, quick. That's gill, I think. Nope, little bass. I love that 2.0. In the real world, I'm sure a bluegill would eat a field mouse too if it was crawling across and they were able to pull it down. Ooh, ooh, ooh. Little bass. He didn't even jump for it, he just kind of slurped it down. Super warm. Right by the boat. That was awesome. Oh, I hope that showed up on this camera. I'm always worried if I got the angle right, but that was pretty sweet. Even though it's not a very big bass, he was right here, closest lily pad to me. That was pretty sweet. Ooh, got it. That's not a big one, but you hit good. And I'm happy if I hook any fish on topwater. God, they're averaging so small. I know there's some giants in here. They're probably out in that real thick stuff. Oh, pretty bluegill. Gorgeous, actually. So just in case, and see, it's not even a big one. This right here shows you, I mean, the Pig Pounder 2.0 works fine on bluegills too. I've had people ask before, you know, isn't the Pig Pounders too big? But no, not at all. They can get, you got to figure, If you can throw a night crawler out and have a bluegill or sunfish tear it to bits, then you know, I mean, this is smaller than a full-grown night crawler, so these work good. Ooh, that's a bass. Not a very big one, but it's a bass. Bigger than what I've been getting, but still not a measurable fish. Ooh, that's a bigger one, I think. I don't know, about the same size as the last one. It's about as easy as it gets for release. Ooh, ooh, come on. Oh, that's a tank. That's a good fish. Oh, no. He just jumped it through that mouth like it was nothing. Ooh. That's a good fish if I can keep him on. That's usually where they get you, they throw it. Oh, he's down in those weeds. Get out of them weeds, baby. There's a whole bunch of weeds on him. That's a beautiful fish. And he's got that, wow, this is bigger than I thought. Look at that, folks. And he's got that frog choked. He just swallowed that frog all in one big chunk there. Oop, here comes one. Boy, I don't want it. Trying to get the timing down on that frog. Seems like you don't want to wait too long. You also don't want to go right away, but I really think there's only a couple seconds you wait for is all. I don't think there's a long wait. Little bass. Threw the pig pounder 2.0 out again. I'm going to try and do that at all these little spots, because sometimes these fish don't really want to hit something on the surface. I don't know, sometimes they don't. So it's always best to try something else before you just leave a spot, because for all you know, there could be a bunch of fish there that you're missing out on just because they don't want to hit top water. That's why I always like to keep a rod, an extra rod around with something else hooked up to it. Wasn't even recording. I thought I was. Might be on this one, I don't know. Just caught him on the 2.0. Oh, bass after it. I got a bluegill on, and there's a bass trying to smoke him out of the pads. Again, 2.0, guys. It ain't even a big gill. Decent size, real pretty fish, but there was a nice bass though trying to get him. And it's funny, like I said, gotta switch it up sometimes. I mean, the top water I'm definitely doing, but oh, that's a bass. But I threw that frog in there quite a few times and didn't really get any hits. So now I'm throwing the 2.0 in there. Oh, I wish I had braid on this rod though. It's gonna be hard to peel them out of the pads. But that 2.0, you know, is a great secondary bait to have with you if you're doing something like this. Because every time you find a hole in the pads, any kind of a gap, you can always throw the 2.0, and I guarantee if there's a bass around and he didn't hit your frog, he's gonna smack the 2.0. I don't know of any bass that wouldn't hit that. Or you could use this as your main bait and the frog as your backup. But frogs are definitely what you want to use in the thick pads. But I'll tell you, these 2.0s are just hard to beat though for along the edges of pads and weed beds. Let's throw the 2.0 where I just missed that fish. Yep. I guarantee if you miss any topwater, really, if you miss a fish on topwater, have a backup rod with a jig or spinnerbait or LT Outdoors 2.0, because I'm telling you, you miss a fish on the topwater, 90% of the time they didn't get a piece of that hook. They totally miss it. So then you back it up with something like this, and you're gonna get hits, that's for sure. That feels like a decent one. I love this 2.0, I'll tell you. Oh, get out of there, pants. Little one. Got the hook in my pants. Why you gotta go do that? That makes things awkward in the kayak. GoPro. Jumping all around me here. Feels like a decent one. Oh yeah. God, no. Oh, they jump and throw the frog. Feels like a good fish. Ah, he's down in them weeds. Oh my God. That is a beautiful fish. Oh, yeah, baby. Look at that. Oh, another smoker. God, come right out. See, that's why you lose them. They come right out like that, guys. £3 pounds, 12 ounces. That's a nice fish. Nice. Ooh, right on that fish. Just a little one, but it's always exciting when they just jump right away at it. Shh, that frog choked him. How did you get that thing in your mouth, buddy? Jeez. God. Another little one. Just spooked a big one and then got this little one. Another one that's, I'm amazed, can even choke a frog. Crazy. That's a little bass. He hit that 2.0 though as fast as that thing could hit the water. Oop. That looked like maybe a bigger fish. Nope. Come at it fast though. They love the 2.0, man. That is a bass catching machine. That's what I made it for. Oh, there's some giants in here too. Missed it. Got him that time. That's a good one. That's a nice fish. Pause that 2.0 because he missed it. He missed it once. It's not another 19, but probably a 17. Well, he's a heavy one. See, this tournament I'm in, it also goes by your top 3 fish of the week, so I have to keep measuring these. That looked like a monster. Oh, that's a big one. That's a good fish. God, I can't believe I was able to tug him right over those pads. Definitely getting the hang of the hook sets on these frogs. I do want to say this. Now, this is probably common sense for most of you that fish frogs. Oh, my legs are gross right now. When I was younger and I fished a frog and this happened, I thought it was destroyed, right? I tried every which way to push the hook back in. I thought, man, I just ruined this frog. It's not ruined. I feel stupid now that I know how to do it. Flip it back around, tuck that back in, the hook back over top, and she's ready to go again. I think I threw away my frog when I was younger and that happened. Ooh, see that? Just threw the frog. That's a big one too. Already had the frog right there. No hit. Then I threw the 2.0 an instant. So always be prepared to throw a backup. Topwater doesn't always do it. That's great. Got it that time. Get out of them pads. That's another nice fish. Get off the pads. Them weeds. God, absolutely choked it. sticks. Look at that. See him come running for it. Bluegill, I think. Yep. Ow, stuck me. Small bass. Just sucked it down. Seems like that's usually what the smaller ones do. The big ones are usually the ones that create some chaos. Can't get enough of the 2.0. They just can't. That looked like a good one. Yeah, that's a nice fish. I don't know if it's measure worthy, but it's probably a 17. Yeah, nice looking fish right there. On that 2.0, I thought I'd try something different because I'm always experimenting with baits. I put the javelin, the Freedom Baits javelin on there just to see how it would perform, and I really like it. It's going good on this harness. Oh, here we go, big wake. That feels like a solid fish. Oh yeah, that's a nice one, good color. Get him out of them weeds. Wow, another pig. Another pig on the pig pounder 2.0. Alright, nice fish. Measure that, I'm sure he's going to be just a 17 probably. Yep, 17 on the money. Nice, probably 2-pounder. Big shout out to my monthly patrons. Thank you guys so much for signing up to Patreon. Sign up today, guys. You can sign up for as low as $1 a month, and it helps out a whole lot. This season at LT Outdoors has been brought to you by Freedom Baits. Go to freedombaits.com and use discount code LT Outdoors. Gets you 10% off. Also, Widowmaker Lures. My favorite lures are on this website. Go to widowmakerlures.com, use discount code LT Outdoors, gets 10% off. Stone Tackle. Make sure you go to stonetackle.com and check out the awesome jig boxes. They've got boxes that'll hold all of your jigs in one box. And use discount code LT Outdoors, gets you 15% off. And Hizia.com. Check out Hizia for a great line of outdoor footwear. Use discount code LT15, gets you 15% off. And if you're looking to get LT Outdoor lures, you can visit these wonderful locations.
Who are you?
It doesn't matter who we are.
What matters is our plan.